Hi everyone, it's Kimberly. Welcome back to the Illumin Guru. Thanks to the new subscribers and to those of you who have joined me now for almost 2 years. Wow, it's been an amazing journey. Those of you who don't know me as well, I'm a soul coach and intuitive advisor. You can work with me if you'd like to in private session, and we can do that via intuitive guidance sessions. I do past life regression as well as soul coaching and ascension coaching. And you can check all that out on illuminguru.com. Behind me, we have the lovely Stella, who's decided to join us free. She's taking a sleepy approach to our video today. And our lovely Zoe, who some of you all know and love, she is recovering from her spaying procedure yesterday. So send her some love, please. Thank you. This is an April mid-month energy update. This is particularly for the new moon in April. New moon in Aries that's coming in. And if you haven't watched my April forecast, like the monthly forecast, please go and watch that now and then come back and continue this video, because I'm going to talk about, in that video, I talked about some of the overarching themes for the month, some of the things that might come up energetically, and what we'll be seeing, trends, patterns, things like that. And in this video, I'm going to dig into some of those things. And so it's better that you have the general knowledge first, and then, that you can come back and get some of these details that are pertinent to this energy right now. I've watched a couple of other videos in the community, which I don't always do. And I'm noticing that other healers and teachers our messages aren't far apart right now. So hopefully you're receiving the information that you've been looking for and that resonates for you. I don't feel like there's too much that's contradictory that's out there right now. We're all kind of picking up on the same type of messages and energies. So we are in the period of up-leveling. We are going through a collective ascension. You're probably feeling this, as I said in that April forecast, in a number of ways. I've had a raspy voice and have been having congestion and was completely exhausted for about a week, like really exhausted, almost like feeling depressed type exhausted. I've worked through it. I'm back in my normal energy field. I'm feeling really good. I'm coming out of it. But in that time, a lot of emotions came up, things that surprised me, right? And so I've been hearing this from my clients too, right? So some of my clients are saying, oh, I feel like I went through a second dark night of the soul, or the dark night of the soul for some of you who are just embarking on this journey. Some clients are saying, I don't know what's with this exhaustion, or what's with this, sadness, or what's with this anger. So we are being asked to purge the things, the final things that are going to release us and allow us to go up. And the going up and the choosing the next timeline is a choice. Your soul is, for most of you listening, your soul's already chosen it. So you're part of this upsweep, okay? So you're going up. And if your soul has chosen it, but then you haven't consciously, you might be pushed in one direction, whether you want to or not, okay? So for example, I'm working on a new business venture, and I was going to put off the timing of it for maybe till like midsummer, and something's happening in the dealings with it that's like, no, actually I'm being told you've got to do it now. Like you have to do it like yesterday. And so, not to rush the project itself, but sort of like the business aspects of it. And so that's a good thing, right? Because it's like, I kind of sat with myself and said, well, why was I hesitating? Or why did I want to, hold off until the summer? What was that in me that was telling me that? Was that fear, right? What was that? What was holding me back? What's doing that? And so we're being asked to remove our fear blocks. That's one. Self-doubt. That's two. And the way that we create, the way that we nurture things into life. Okay. And so what I'm talking, okay, so let's use 2 different hand signals, since you guys know I love to use my hands. So what I'm seeing is like a real stark contrast between maybe the ways that we used to do things, when we would will or push things into life, when we would be creating from more of an ego identity, or a misalignment with self-worth, okay? And so that feels like this, okay? I'm just going to use that signal. Okay, and then there's the nurturing things, which feels more like this to me, and nurturing it into life, okay? That's from alignment with self-worth. That's from not willing or forcing. That's when our ego is out of the equation and we're just allowing things to organically grow and be shown to us and all of that. So this is a highly creative time. I spoke about that in my last video. Creative projects are going to push forward now. This could be new business ventures. These could be like mission related. This could be just, these could be writing ventures, books, blogs, like I said, new businesses, new websites that you're creating, stuff like that. And it's like almost across the board, I feel like we're all kind of going through this where you're birthing something new. You're birthing something. And the way that you're going to birth it is through nurturing, like I said. And so we're being asked to look at now, where is our ego still involved? Where might we be pushing or willing things into life? And where, most importantly, are we misaligned with our own self-worth? Because that is going to make the difference in how we get these things off the ground and bring them into life and bring them to fruition. So, on one hand, if we stay misaligned with our self-worth or not in touch with our true self-worth, self-value, we will probably struggle a bit. Okay, that's what I'm seeing. If you really, really go into the tools that will help you align with your worth and value in the most organic, pure way, and get you in alignment, get your thoughts in alignment, get your energy in alignment, get your vibration in alignment behind that, those are the things that are just going to whoosh, they're just going to take off through our nurturing. Okay. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about, let's go back. And this is going to help you in your twin flame dynamic as well. Okay. But specifically what they're showing me is this is really right now coming into light because of what we're doing creatively. Okay. So, we can, when it comes to self-worth, we talk about this a lot, like the value that you would put on your own head, okay? Not in arrogance, not in conceit, not as attached to an ego value, okay? But the true value of who you are at the divine level. And so many of us, through our societal programming, through our familial programming, we have grown up with or adopted, inherited ways of thinking and being that do not support that full worth, right? That full divine worth. So there's two ways in which this is fractured or injured. Okay, so it's the patterning that has been kind of embedded in us. And then it's also like our wounding, right? Where we separated from our divine self through our wounding, which I talk about a lot. So let's just talk about the wounding aspect, okay? Because I'm not going to spend as long on that today. We do that a lot if you come to coaching with me. But, in your wounding, usually there's a core wound or a core trauma, some experience in your childhood in which you either broke from your divine self or you never fully stepped into your divinity, right? Your divine self-worth and self-love, right? But for most of us, we separated from it. Some of you, it happened in the womb. Some of you, it would happen in early childhood. And at that time or at that juncture, let's say, was when the wounding caused new beliefs or core beliefs to be formulated. And those beliefs caused you to carry on that separation from your divine self. So whether that's, putting others first or not valuing yourself, like self-doubting, insecurities, whatever that is, it would sort of compound from the core wounds of like, I'm not lovable, I'm not good enough. Those are the types of core wounds I'm talking about. So that causes the separation. But there's also something else that's embedded in us, and it's programming. and the programming that is in our society today. And you may even look and see that it's been, filtering to you, or you've inherited it through your familial perspectives, through your ancestral lineage, right? Through, your mom and dad's like outlook, or through society's outlook, or it's where we do a lot of the comparison thinking, right? So like that's where we are really misaligned, because like today with social media, you look around, you go, oh, that person's happier than me. That person has a fuller life than me. And they've got, the perfect home, the perfect family, the great job, everything looks so good from the outside, right? And we have to look at where we're placing value, because I'm hearing a lot that value is being placed on success, like monetary success, where we're at in our lives as compared to others. Let's see, what else? Material possessions, and societal status, and how we look in comparison to others, right? Physical looks, appearance in comparison to others. And all these things doth not make up who you are. They're not you, not your material possessions, not your measure of monetary success, not your, being ahead or behind someone else. These things are not your intrinsic value. Your intrinsic value is your ability to love and be loved, is your ability to emit light and be light, is your ability to is to nurture your gifts, right? And share your gifts. Okay? So it's like love, light, and gifts. That's how I see it. That's how I would teach it to you. That's intrinsic value. And we place value on such crazy things: our cars, our status, our homes, where we're at in our lives, and who has that, or who has more, or who doesn't, or what do we want, or maybe we're even just comparing ourselves to the former versions of ourselves. I used to have a lot, but now I don't. I used to be successful, but now I'm not. I used to have, more ego drive, but I don't know what happened to me. Well, what happened to you is you're stripping away your ego. For many of you, if you're finding yourself not where you want to be right now, it's because you're not in alignment with your intrinsic value. Okay? So how do you step into alignment with your intrinsic value? This is where, one, you've got to heal the core wounds and find why you haven't been loving yourself at the core, right? And I can help you do that if you do want to work with me in coaching sessions. But beyond that, this is just a general look that everyone can take a look at your perception. This is a perception shift. What are you looking at that's making you feel shitty? That's amping up the inner critic, that's holding you or keeping you in a state of fear or insecurity, or self-doubt. And if you ask it this question, if you shifted those beliefs into your intrinsic value and asked yourself, well, how do I feel about my value now? How do I feel about my love? How do I feel about my ability to love, my ability to give love, my ability to be love? And being love, radiating love, is something that you'll become better and better at as you come into alignment. Then you'll ask yourself, well, how am I doing emitting my light? Well, I always smile at strangers. I love to help people. I'm building this mission-based service. I see myself moving into service with others. I know I'm a light worker. Well, there you go. There's the value that you haven't given to yourself. And how am I doing with my gifts? Am I nurturing my gifts? Am I sharing my gifts? And because your gifts are not meant to be hidden. And right now, we're being asked to take action to bring them into life, to bring them into light, to share with the collective, to help uplift others, and to be of service to others. And So go back to the core, not what you drive, not where you live, not what you do for a living, not where you are in comparison to others, or to yourself or a former version of yourself, but who you are. Love, light, and gifts. Your intrinsic value. And see if that changes your story at all, right? And make a conscious effort to give your attention and give your energy to your real value, to your divine worth, to your intrinsic value. Because those things, your creativity, your gifts, once you start feeling good about those things, start feeding those things more. Start feeling good about yourself just because you're emitting light. Start feeling good about yourself just because you're beaming love and because you're giving and receiving love. That'll help you quiet down that inner critic. That'll help you get out of this programming that is, it's faulty programming. It's faulty wiring. This emphasis that we have been placing on egocentric things outside of ourselves, material things. And this doesn't mean that you'd be materialistic in any way. That doesn't necessarily imply that at all. This just means that you're placing your value on the wrong things, and therefore you're feeling bad about yourself, right? You're not owning this love that you could be beaming right now if you went into the stuff that was like intrinsically who you are and started appreciating that stuff within yourself. So let's go back to the creative projects. So now if we look at our creative projects and we bring our intrinsic value forth, our connection with our divine self and loving ourselves, don't you think that any blocks you have now about timing, whether or not you can do it, who's going to see it, am I going to be successful? Don't you think that's all going to just go to the wayside? Because that was over here with this ego-based stuff, with this value outside of ourselves stuff. In this space over here, you're doing it because you're sharing your gifts. You're doing it because if it just helps one person, you're gonna love that. You're doing it for the process. You're trusting how it's unfolding. This is, and it's helping you share your light and love, and in trusting that, that's how everything's going to open up for you. That's how all the doors are going to open, and the money will come, and you don't even have to be focused on it. The abundance will come. The opportunities will come. The connection will come. Okay? So that's the most important message that I have to give you here. And this will also help your relationships tremendously. Okay? Because instead of going into your relationships with this feeling, I'm feeling not good enough, you'll start to go in with a deeper sense of value. And you're going to start to feel better and differently about yourselves. Okay? So I'm going to pull some cards just to reinforce this message and see what the guides are saying. And see what we need to know for further clarification about this message and for validation. And let's just pull some of the Wisdom of the Oracle cards just to reinforce it. I'm not going to pull a spread. So yeah, this is really cool. So they're saying being the observer of self. Now, this is about you really watching yourself and going, where am I doing this? Where am I putting these, like attaching a false value to things that aren't really my value? Okay. And as you start to watch this and bring this awareness forth, this is how you're going to begin to change this. Okay. And so they're also talking about the building blocks. So this is the foundational stuff. This is how you're building the new venture. You're building it from your value, your real value. Not from outside of yourself, from the inside out. That's why these projects are going to be big. They're going to be helpful. They're going to reach many. They're going to fill your heart's desires. They're going to help others. I really feel this coming for so many of you. Okay. And let's see what we need to know about perhaps like a warning for this message, or what we need to pay attention to. So they're saying the yang energy. Okay. So yang energy, they're saying, so this is what I was talking about. It's time to take action. But how are you taking action? Are you pushing it? Are you willing it? Or are you using your masculine energy in balance, where you're nurturing things creatively, and you're getting into space with your, self-worth and your true value. And then you're taking inspired action with that in a state of trust. That's going to be healthy balance with your masculine. That's going to be your feminine and masculine sides working together to bring these things into life. Okay, so be careful though, not to force it, not to push it, not to will it, not to get overzealous in that way. If you're not sure about the next step, let it be revealed to you. Sit with it for a day. Do a little work on it, then walk away. See what ideas come. That's a wonderful practice. Sit with it, focus, work on it, whatever it is, whatever that is. But then step away. See what comes. See what ideas come. See what's shown to you. Most likely, when you're channeling your muses and you're in alignment and you're trusting, and you take that step away, you're going to get inspired messages that come in that are going to show you, just reveal to you what the next steps are. Okay, so that's great. And let's pull one more card to know about, let's see, like overall, how can we align best with our self-worth and uplift timelines for twin flames, uplift our projects. How can we best utilize this ascension energy? Let's ask that, okay? So they're saying deep knowing. This is all about trust. This is trusting yourself. This is how you're going to really get out of your head, get into your heart, get into your intuitive knowing. It's the things that we have been telling ourselves. It's the things that we've been falsely attached to. It's the cycles or loops that we stay in our thinking mind, right? When we're thinking too much or analyzing, that are keeping us from knowing what the next steps are and following the impulses and, really trusting and knowing that it's all going to work out if we just follow it. And so go to your deep knowing, okay? And I feel like what this video spoke to, what the message was that I delivered, was also to that exact sentiment, which is your deep knowing is not attached to things outside of yourself. Your deep knowing is from within, and that's how you're going to birth these projects as well and bring things to life. This is paramount right now, that we look at these things. Okay, so let's look at it in the context of twin flames. So, because I really was getting this message for how we're putting out our creative projects, but let's just look at this also within your dynamics with your twin flames. So one, it's going to help you shift your focus to your mission-based projects and the things that have been calling to you that maybe you have been ignoring, or you've been distracted, or you've been so hooked on the energetic attachment or the 3D attachment to your twin flame that you didn't go all the way over here to align with yourself. So that feels like that's happening, where we're going to ourselves, we're coming to ourselves, and we're aligning. Okay, so let's pull a card for that. Let's just see what they say. So they're saying a change in wind. So that's exactly like we're going that way. We're going the other direction now. It's towards ourselves. So we're not misaligning our energy anymore. We're changing that direction. The direction is towards ourselves, towards our mission, towards our divine self-worth, not towards the things outside of ourselves and the things that we can't control. Okay, that in itself is really going to help twins. It's going to help some of you even come into union. That's a huge shift. Beyond that, when we come into contact with our twin flames, or we show back up for a reunion or a check-in, or even to come into union, what's going to happen is being more aligned with our sense of self-worth, our intrinsic value, and having, this is a key thing, having cleared out the core wounds and shifted those beliefs, because that needs to be done too. That's underneath all of this. You will show up less triggered, more steadily able to hold the vibration of unconditional love. Not just reach it, but hold it, sustain it. You will be less likely to run. You'll be less likely to chase. You'll be in alignment with your self-worth and value. You're no longer going to be running or chasing. No longer in fear or, running after something because you feel like you're not good enough, or you need to prove your worth, or you need to do more, be more, to be seen, to be heard. So this is going to help you get into alignment, and that alignment is going to, in effect, evoke a balance of the polarities, and that balance of polarities is going to help everything come into balance in your twin flame connection. Okay, so let's just pull one more card to fortify that message. They're saying soulmates, okay? So, and this, I really do feel like soulmates are often very supportive. And so when we go through this twin flame journey, I think, a lot of the stories that we have is this running and this chasing and this, back and forth and push pull. And what I feel from this message is like, as we come more whole within ourselves, as we get into alignment, we heal our wounds, we come into alignment with our value, we're going to be able to show up as a supportive soulmate for our twin flames or whoever we're partnering with. And for some of you, soulmates may be coming in for you as you realign with your divine self and your divine worth. And this is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. Okay, so this means more happiness, more fulfillment, more love is coming in. It's on its way. So this message feels complete to me here. I'm going to leave it at that. If you all have questions or, like I said, want to work with me, you can reach out to me on the website or book a session on theillumineguru.com. And I'll see you guys again. I'll come back at the end of the month and give you another forecast for, let's see, the full moon in Scorpio. We'll have another change in wind at that time. All right, I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Bye-bye.